Well, today I found a video that is made by Larkin Rose. It's a video concerning about how does it feel control the many. Now, this video does pertain to paying taxes to the IRS, but on the grand scheme of things, is all across the board. The laws that they make, the things they make you do, the age you get to retire at, what your wages are, where you can come and go, even to the point to where whether or not you have a job. So this pertains more into the tax, but this in general is a good video saying how to control the many. Now, before I start this video, you will see that all these dots, these colorful dots, circles, whatever you want to call it, uh, it represents the masses. This is all of us, by the millions. The thing about it, I was driving the interstate one time, and I was in left lane traffic. We was running about 85, 90 miles per hour in the left lane. When I look to my right, I seen a state trooper lining up, and I thought to myself right there on the spot, I said, you know what? How's that one state trooper going to keep all of us from speeding? And I said, you know what? He couldn't. He couldn't keep us from speeding because it's way more of us than them. You need to realize I don't care how big that police department is in any city, state, or town that you live in. The amount of police or the military will never ever be the same amount as in general masses. So people ask yourself, because I know me making this video is gonna be on touchy subjects, and people's not gonna agree on everything that I say, but I will say this: ask yourself, how does the few control the many? If you ask yourself how the few control the many, maybe you might start seeing what people have been talking about, other fellow truthers have been talking about all this time. So I am new to this, so bear with me.
Once upon a time, there were 100 million people. They had different interests, different beliefs, different occupations, but for the most part, they got along pretty well. Then one day, a gang of a few hundred people showed up. Need to zoom in some more to see them. I know they're there somewhere. Zoom in. There they are. And this gang of a few hundred said to the throng of 100 million, from now on, you all have to give us a cut of everything you earn.
This is an accurate graphical comparison between the number of American taxpayers and the number of U.S. congressmen.
And the throng said, gosh, do we have to give you a cut of what we earn? And the gang of a few hundred said, yes, you have to. And the throng said, well, okay, I guess we have to.
And if you think about it, the reason why you have to comply to what they tell you is because everybody else that's around you comply. So therefore, that's how the few control the many. Therefore, the majority rules. Because the people that's to your left or to your right, your co-workers, your church members, your family members, anybody that you associate yourself with, the gas station attendant, anybody that you can run to on a daily basis wants to comply and obey with the government. And whenever you have the majority to rule, that's what's going to happen. So how does that one small entity control everybody so easily? You know why? Because everybody else around you is complying. That's how the few control the many.
And one little troublemaker asked, what if we don't? The gang of a few hundred didn't like this and said, if you do not comply, we shall unleash upon you our legions of enforcers. And the throng cried, oh no, please don't. We will comply, we will pay.
This is an accurate graphical comparison between the number of American taxpayers and the total number of IRS employees.
Time went by, and the gang of a few hundred said, now we want more of what you earn. And this kept happening over and over again, until eventually some of the throng were paying almost half of what they earned to the gang. Whenever the gang demanded more, the throng would say, golly, we're already having a tough time. Do we really need to give you even more? And the gang always said, yes, you must, or we shall unleash our legion of enforcers.
And and the reason why you have to give them more and more is because that's the way of them keeping you at a certain way of financial wealth. What I mean by that, the more money taken from you from taxes, the less you're able to save, the less you be able to build wealth for your future family. That's the way of keeping everybody, the masses, enslaved as much as possible. And that's also a way to keep you working. So you pay your bills and you pay all these taxes, and you have to keep going to that job till you're 70 years old when your health declines. God forbid your health declines. So that's why you gotta keep giving them more and more. That's part of the reason. Yeah, you gotta keep giving them more money. Uh, from what I heard, which I believe is true, if you have more than up to 10 grand in your savings account or your bank account, your bank has reported to the IRS or to the government. I guess because my opinion is because they really don't want you to really be wealthy and well off financially. Because if you had that much money in the bank, you could actually fire your job. If you don't have no money in the bank, you have to keep going to that job day in and day out because you know you need that paycheck to survive for the next 2 weeks or a month. And when you don't have much money saved up, you don't have no control whatsoever. So the money system is a way for them to keep everybody enslaved.
Now the gang of a few hundred was getting trillions of dollars every year, spending it on wars and pyramid schemes, giving away goodies to their friends, buying influence, and doing lots of other things. And some of the throng started saying, "We don't really like the war you're waging with the money we give you. Do we really have to be paying for that?" And the gang said, "Yes, we demand it. Don't make us send out our legion of enforcers." And some of the throng said, "You're taking our money and giving it to huge corporations and giant banks, and some people who just don't want to work. A lot of these things we don't like." And the gang said, "We don't care. We will decide how to spend it. You just do as you're told, or else." And the throng said, "Okay, I guess we have to." But eventually the throng got so fed up.
The reason why you had to because the people around you comply and they obey willingly to the masters and the elites that control this world. That's why you have to obey.
Fed up, so angry that they took a drastic step. One day they said to the gang, "We don't like what you're doing. We want a new gang." And after pouring a huge amount of time and money into the effort, they replaced the gang with a new gang. Then the throng pleaded with the new gang, "Now, at long last, can we keep our own money, or at least keep more of it?" And the new gang said, "Sorry, but after much discussion, we've decided that you can't. You have to keep giving us what you've been giving, in fact, a little bit more than before." The throng was distraught and said, "This is dreadful. But after all, what choice do we have? I mean..."
Well, you do have a choice. The choice is to wake up and try to get everybody around you to wake up and realize that the tyranny that we're in, we shouldn't have to be in. All right? It's very more than us than them. And back to what he was saying, how you when you vote one guy out and when you vote another person in, you're getting the same thing you've been getting. Nothing ever changed. They're all puppets, and they're all going to do the same thing. So now we have President Joe Biden. He's no different from Donald Trump. They're all friends. Donald Trump plays his role like a loose cannon, like, he's out of control. Now Joe Biden's gonna come in and say today he's the savior of mankind, and he's gonna fix all the problems. And he's such a wonderful person that he's gonna save us from the virus and have everybody to vaccinate. Now, as far as the vaccination, that's another day, but I get to that in future videos. So when you go out there and vote, it's the biggest trick in the book. You know, presidents change, policies don't. So you could vote in a new character as you think you're voting a new character. But one thing everybody needs to realize, the system is still in place.
I mean, they say we must comply, and they have that scary legion of enforcers.
Well, actually, the enforcers are the people around you, your church members, the grocery store workers, gas station attendants, your family, and everybody that's around you. If you want to be technical about it, they're the enforcers.
We're powerless against them. We'd better just do as we're told. So they did as they were told, got poorer and poorer, and lived miserably ever after. But after all, what else could they have?
Okay, when he says live miserably ever after, think people, do you really think you're living your best life?
Done? What power could this throng possibly have compared to this gang of a few hundred and their enforcers? What chance would this thing have against this thing? How could these 100 million people ever hope to successfully resist the awesome power of this tiny little dot? In case anyone missed this, let's review. Here's them. Here are their enforcers. Here's us. Them, us. Them, us. Does anything about this seem just a little strange to you? Are you perhaps wondering, why does the throng need the permission of the dot to do anything? Why do these people feel the need to ask this tiny little dot if they can keep more of what they earn? Why would they spend year after year literally begging for lower taxes from this little dot? Is this dot just really darn intimidating? Is it very persuasive in its reasoning? To be blunt, why would this throng give a rodent's backside what this tiny little dot wanted? The fact that this tiny dot has the gall to issue such demands to such a throng is pretty startling in and of itself. But what is far more amazing is that the throng obeys this minuscule little parasitic gang of control freaks.
And that's very true. And a lot of people don't think that way. It's very appalling that everybody sits back and obey. They obey. So, and it all starts out in the indoctrination center when you go to school. And when you go to school, you start learning about the hierarchy of government, hierarchy of authority, and then you take what you learn from being in school, and the mass as a whole continue to be a dummy throughout their whole life in their adulthood.
What could possibly explain this? Let's ask the dot. This is how it works. When we, the dot, take your money and spend it on things you don't like, we're representing you. In fact, though you're not allowed to actually keep your own money, you're allowed to decide which little dot will steal half of what you earn. So that really means that you're in charge and that you're agreeing to give us your money. In fact, we, the dot, are serving you when we take your money and spend it on things you don't like. And so you should thank us and treat us with great respect and honor for having robbed you on your behalf for your own good in order to serve you by doing things you don't want us to do. So there you have it. I hope that cleared everything up for you.
If you're not entirely satisfied with the dot's explanation of things, you really should read the book, The Most Dangerous Superstition, available now at Amazon.com.
Okay, once again, that tidbit, that video was made by Larkin Rose. It was a very good representation of what really goes on. But like I said, the controls of many. How does it feel control of many? Is the people around you are the ones that enforcers. The majority rules. Um, Hopefully, you guys got the point of this message, and I know most of you guys won't, because as a whole, uh, intelligence in this world is very overrated, and people don't think for themselves, and people don't want to think for themselves. So they want to live in la la land, whatever the government wants to feed them. Um, Thanks once again. Have a good day.